Alright, I'll talk you through what we're going to do just to get, it's still part of our warm up, okay? First thing, you're going to move forwards, so I don't mind with this whether you walk or you do your sugiashi because it's still just part of the warm up. So you can either sugiashi forwards or walk forwards, I don't mind. Once you come forwards, you do 10 of the same technique, moving forwards, okay? Then swap your technique. So you're going to do 3 different techniques, moving forwards, okay? So any way you want, you can sugiashi, you can turn, I don't mind what technique you do, okay? You do 3 different sets of 10, then you do it with your partner coming on. So same thing, you can sugiashi, then you turn coming on, or if you want, you can walk back and then turn, okay? Now they can be the same techniques, they must be turning techniques, okay? They can be the same techniques moving that way as they are this way, okay? Or you can do 3 in this direction, 3 in this direction, I really don't mind. Okay, it's completely up to you. But sets of 10, 1 where they're moving away and you turn, and 1 where they're coming towards you and turn, yeah? So 60 in total if you're not so good at maths. Let's go. Go on then. That's it, get your arms up. Let's see you actually doing a bit of judo. That's it, so push it, then turn. And you can start being as detailed as you want. If you want to think about your scenario, if you're creating a push to be able to turn, it's completely up to you. Or they're coming onto you as you're turning, I don't mind. Okay? But you should be thinking of where you are skill level wise and what you're able to add to it. Okay? Try not to throw yourself onto the sofa, Joseph. I'm filming this as well, so if you make any mistakes, then I'll be able to watch it back. Hey there. That's it. That's it. So moving away, turn. I really don't mind what techniques you're doing as long as they're turning techniques, okay? Think about your arm positioning, your leg positioning. Where should it be? Good, James. That's it. Good, William. That's it, guys. So Mihal, you know you're in left, left, then switching right, yeah? Just making sure you know what you're doing. Yeah? Okay, alright. Just making sure. So just one thing, Mihal. Well, one thing that I'm not so keen on is going left, left, and then turning forwards right traditionally. Okay, because what you do is you end up getting gathered up and counted. You can go left, left, step back and pull because you break their balance. Or you can do your pivot step where you step across and then pivot through because you create your reaction. But if you're left and then just step in for a turn, you can be vulnerable for a counter. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I was just making sure you know.
No, that's fine. Thank you.
That's it, guys. Good. So remember, we're doing 60 in total, 30 forwards, 30 then coming on. That's it. Make sure you don't headbutt that wall, William, alright? I don't want you being dead means on the floor. That's it. Good, James. Good. That's it. Turns, guys. You done, Lucas?
My feet feel like they're on fire for some reason.
Your feet feels like on fire. There isn't fire underneath you, is there?
No.
Or is it because are you trying to tell me your judo moves are that good? Your feet are on fire? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh yeah, it's that, yeah.
Yeah, I often have that feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely that.
Okay. That's it, guys. Keep it going. You done, Tony? I muted you.
Can you quickly show us split leg Sianagi with them coming onto you? I just want to know if I'm not doing too many steps.
Yeah, no, that's quite a tricky one. Split leg Sianagi when they're coming onto you, you would literally finish in this position, okay? Yeah. But it is a tricky one in regards that because you're almost going half, sometimes they'll feel like they're too far around. So sometimes you'll feel like you'll never get enough rotation and then they'll come this way. So that's why like a split leg Sio in this direction works really well with a Karuchi as they're trying to sort of skip round off of it. You know, so yeah, you can do it and it works best if they're trying to go the opposite way. So if you're here and you're stepping, they're trying to escape backwards by mistake because they literally get hooked on. But if they go the other way, it's much easier for them to get off of the technique.
Yeah, it just felt strange when I was drilling that.
It is, and I think even for me, it feels a bit weird coming in because it never feels like I step far enough across for the turn.
Thanks, Vince.
All right. You done, Mohammed? Good work, mate. Right, you guys finishing? All right, excellent. As you're finishing, or just about finishing, I'll talk through. So tonight, what I want to work on is using the area to create reactions, okay? So we talk about using ashiwaza and different sets of things, but actually the mat area is a really important tool, and it's something that's not used enough anymore, and something that definitely when the rules were slightly different, got used a bit more, okay? So some of you might remember a mat area was like a red and then green inside, and like the rules where you could sort of stand on the red bit as long as you were trying to do something. But the rules are a little bit different now, but using the red or using the area is still really important. Who knows what the rules are with using the area? So what are the rules within the area? What should you be doing? What can you do? What can't you do? Who knows? Anybody? Go on, Tone. You're muted again, mate, so you're talking to yourself.
You can't step out of the area.
Yeah, so you cannot just willingly step out of the designated area because you'll get penalised. Okay, what else?
You can't do
Who was talking? James, was that you?
Yeah, you can't do a technique outside the green area.
Okay, so that's slightly ambiguous. Ambiguous, I don't know whether that's the right word. But basically, if you're, say, in the area and you step out trying to throw, that counts. But if you're stood out there and you just try and do a technique, it shouldn't count because it started outside of the area. Okay, but if you start inside, it finishes out, it counts. Okay, Beck?
You can't push an opponent out of the area aggressively.
Yeah, just like I'm not allowed to just step out, you wouldn't be allowed to just push me out. Okay? And that's a really blurred line. That's where a lot of the tactics come into play because the difference between what the referee sees is the most important thing. Okay? So understanding the pushing out is a penalty, but stepping out is a penalty also. Are there any other rules that anybody knows of? Dog? Tone?
Yeah, you can't escape Osakomi by crawling out the area.
Yeah, so if you're being held down, in a hold down, it used to be if you wiggled out of the area, mate would be called, okay? Not anymore, it just continues. If you sort of end up the stairs and like in the changing rooms, it's just an ippon awarded, okay? You cannot escape a hold down by leaving the venue, okay? Anything else? Okay, so if you do step out, you're allowed to try and work your way back into attack, okay? It's not if I just stepped out with 1 foot or even 2 feet, as long as it looks like I'm trying to get back in, 9 times out of 10 you'll be given the benefit of the doubt that you're trying to do judo, okay? But the most important rule is you can't step out and you can't be pushed out. That's the one we're going to look at to be able to create our reactions to throw, okay? And we're going to look at it as the person creating the pressure on the area, okay? Does that make sense to everybody? We're all set up, good, right. So the first thing is, maybe my partner started off by backing up to the area. Why might they start by backing up to the area from the go? Maybe we've not got a grip yet. Why might they start moving away from me? Yeah, go on. Mihao, do you think you know?
Because you said, yeah, so if they're outside, they should start thinking of going back.
I'm not sure I understand. So you bowed, Jimmy's been called. Why might they start backing up before they've even got a grip?
Oh, because maybe they want us to approach, so they're thinking probably to attack. Yeah.
Yeah, you watch beginner judo, it happens quite a lot. A bow, one person walks back, the other person walks forwards, and as soon as they do and get their hands on, they turn and throw. It's just a way of creating some movement to attack, okay? So I'm the person, I bowed, they're moving back, I'm going forwards, okay? I've got my hands on, I've settled the grip, okay, but we're near the edge. What happens if I'm here? What should I be doing if they just walk backwards out? What should I do if they just walk backwards out? Tone?
Let them.
Let them. Yeah. One thing that people do wrong is when they're near the edge, they've got hold and they sort of keep hold and they just follow without really thinking of what's going. You can let them go, but don't follow with your hands on. Okay, you can let go of them and let them walk back if they want. But if you're here, just be careful about walking forwards. Okay? Does that make sense? Because if you do, if you push forwards, you might get penalised and you might get thrown. So it doesn't often happen where you get to the edge that they just walk off backwards. Does everybody understand why that point is, yeah? Alright, good, because that sets up all the other reactions. As long as you understand that one point, everything else works. Yes, James?
If you thought you were going to get thrown, couldn't you just, like, without making it look like you were doing so, pull someone out and, like, let yourself go out of the area to make it look like they pushed you out?
Yeah, so that's when we're getting towards tactics, all right? So if I was against somebody and I thought, hang on a minute, I'm going to get thrown for ippon, I might just chance my arm and walk out. They might penalise me, but they might not. Either way, I'm still in the match. Okay, so yeah, that is a tactic on the edge, just taking that step back. Okay, but we're going to work on the premise that they're not going to do that now. We've got hold, we've got to the edge, we're here, and they're going to push us back. Okay, so this is where we are. We're here, we're pushing, they're pushing us back. What technique should we do? Mikau, not Mihao, Mikau. Moadine. Stop smiling at me. What technique should they do, Mikau? Come on. You know how to unmute.
The turning throw?
Yes, exactly the right answer. Your turning throw that you want. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go up here, hands on, we're going to pressure towards the edge, and then any turning technique that you want to do. Okay? Let's go. Hands on, pressure, Sugiyashi forwards, push, push, push. Once you feel that pressure, then you turn, okay? You can try with different turning techniques, you can stick to the same turning technique, I don't mind, but you follow. We're forwards, we're here, we know they're pushing on, then we turn, okay? I'm here, I'm putting the pressure on here, I wait till I feel it coming back, then I turn, yeah?
With a turn, Vince, be as if you were walking backwards, or sometimes might you have to bring your back foot in?
It might change depending on their sort of reaction, because generally they don't just put, we're keeping it really simple that they're just pushing back. Generally there's a slight movement, so it might be when you're here that they're pushing you step across, or it might be that they're here and you almost step back into it. I don't mind, you play that as you see fit with that bit.
What do you want us to do for this drill?
I don't mind, you can do either. So you could be here pushing and then turn this way, or you could be here pushing and then step back and turn, okay? It might depend on what grip you've got. If you think about what we've been doing the last couple of weeks, where we're posting near the edge, and then we step back, yeah? So your grip could depend quite greatly. Lucas, why do you keep on sitting down? I'm not sure. Your feet on fire. Alright, just Mate said, I just want to talk about this, I'm going to let you carry on with that in a sec. Can anybody think of a reason why we would have to be careful? If you think about when we've been leading with the wrong arm forwards over the last few weeks, can you think what the possible problem might be with this situation, with that, that technique and that setup? Can anybody think of a possible problem? Think about the rules.
Can you not hold it like that?
Sorry, Camille?
You're not allowed to hold the opposite grip of the wall.
No, so this is fine. Your gripping is fine. Okay.
You are not on your stand.
Yeah, not so worried about that. Okay, so if it's me, right? Somebody's gone wrong stance. They've come in here and they're pushing me back like this. They've not got a second hand on. I would back myself up and walk out the area. Because to the referee, it might look like they're trying to be pushing me out. If they don't have that second hand on. Okay, because remember, they've not got their grip on to do judo left-handed. They've got it to create a reaction. If I walk back like this and there's no reaction, there's a good chance, actually, the ref will say, well, actually, you guys, you've just pushed them out. Penalty to you. And that's why it's really important to understand what you're going. So if you're pushing, and they're not stopping for that area, you need to stop them. You can't just follow them out of the area because you will be penalised. Okay? So have that thought process when you're near this edge. Okay? When you're backing yourself up here. Think about what's happening. Are they pushing you back? If they're not, you need to be pulling them back in. Okay? Yeah? Let's go. Sorry, Mohammed, I got you off the sofa. Sorry, Lucas, for getting you up. Sorry, boys. That's it. That's it. Come on, Camille. Think about that area. Push in, getting that reaction back. Boom. You all right, Lucas? What happened there?
In that scenario, Vince, is it probably better to go opposite side, shoulder to shoulder?
For what? Sorry, Tone?
Like, find the right hander, if you're backing them up to the edge, take the opposite stance.
Possibly, because if you're leading, you're sometimes walking onto that turn.
Yeah.
But you are worried then, you are really limited on the judo that you can do. With two hands on, you know, you could be using your feet, your ashiwaza, to back them up. So I would say keep two hands on would most probably be better, because you can keep control.
Stay conventional.
Yeah, and if you get near the edge and it feels like they're trying to back up, you drag them back in. Yeah? But we'll go over that in a sec. As I stick with it, guys. I know for some of you younger ones, this is quite a big leap, okay? But as long as you remember your sugiashi movement, you've got the turn, you've got your feeling, you can do your turn, okay? That's all there. The actual techniques are exactly the same, it's just the context of what we're putting it in that is a little bit tricky. That's it. So we're backing up, backing up. And then turn. That's it, Beck. You got it. Good, James. Good. Okay, so here's a question then for some of you. Preferably not Tony on this one. Let's see if you guys can fit. You backed them up to the edge. You've got your hands on, and you feel like that actually they're not necessarily walking away, but they're definitely not pushing onto you. They're almost leaning back a little bit. What do you think you should do?
You could do a backwards technique as they're going backwards.
Yeah, you're definitely now thinking about backwards technique. Now, the horrible thing is now, is depending on how it feels, depends whether you throw them with a backwards technique or you pull them a little bit to get an exaggerated, okay, an exaggerated reaction. Because if you pull them a little bit, why don't they just come towards you? Camille?
Because you're throwing forward.
Yeah, you're throwing forward. So you still get that reaction, but it's amplified because it's on the edge, because they might get Judo. So from here, we're going to back up, and now we feel that we can't turn because their weights are back, so we're just going to do a little pull before we go for a rear technique. So Ouchi, I don't like Ouchi. So whatever you feel confident doing. Okay, so we advance, a little pull back before we come across for a rear technique, yeah? So Ko-Uchigari, O-Uchigari, O-Sotogari, anything really, little Ko-Soto, anything towards the rear, yeah? So from here we move forwards, 1, 2, slight pull back before we change, yeah? Lucas, come on! I'm going to have to put your feet in water, aren't I? Cool them down. So, Mikhail, not Michal, Mikhail. Remember, you're doing backwards techniques now, backwards techniques. Yeah, sorry. You know when I stop and talk, that's I'm telling you stuff. Not just everybody else, you as well. Alright? That's it, here, pull. Get that back, pull. And then change direction. That's it. Yeah, good, James Stevens. Oh, you're going for a little Sasai there, are you, James? Ah, good thinking. Good, looks like you're ice skating, Joseph. Good, William. Good, now, Mohammed, just try and stick in your stance a bit more, okay? Try not to allow yourself to square up. Try and stick in your stance as you're doing it, okay? Everything else is fine.
Is the step for Ko-Uchi the same as O-Uchi, Vince?
Yes and no. It's the same as in you've got to close that distance, but Ko-Uchi, okay, you'll be stepping this way. O-Uchi, you'll be stepping the other way. Okay.
Different cross.
Yeah. So what? Yes, they are the same, but in different directions.
Yeah.
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 Good. Okay. Good work. Right. So now we know forwards and backwards. If they push back, we can turn. If they sit back, we can go O-Uchi, Ko-Uchi, whatever it is, okay? So it now leaves them with a choice. Do they move sleeve side or lapel side, okay? So we're going to look at sleeve side first because that's the easiest for us. So if you imagine you're being backed up, you've got a choice. You don't want to go forwards, you don't want to go backwards. So what you decide to do is you're going to move sleeve side for them, okay? And as they're moving, it's not like moving on a line. It will be a slight circle, so it'll be round and 45 degrees. So from here, they'll start to circle up. And as they do, what sort of technique should you do from that point? What sort of technique from there?
Taitoshi.
Yeah, a turning technique. It could be Taitoshi, it could be The Seotoshis are generally the easiest as they're escaping. So if you imagine they're sort of coming around here, some sort of Seotoshi where you're tripping over your leg, but Tai-toshi would work. Anything like that where you're coming through. Okay? So this time in your head, you're going to back them up here, back them up, and they're going to skip sleeve side. As they skip sleeve side, you're going to turn. But it could be Ichimata, it could be Hara, it could be whatever you want. Okay? But just in your head, I want you to think about that. They're moving this way onto your sleeve side, which then enables you to turn. Okay? Let's go. Back them up, they move. So we're using the area, we're here, putting the pressure on the area, they move round. As they do, you turn. Okay? As they do, you turn. Good, Lucas. Try not to headbutt that sofa again though, mate. That's it. And you know the techniques, you know the movements, you know your stance, you know how to turn if somebody's moving this way. We're just adding the context to it, okay? So we're here, we're backing up, They're moving round to my sleeve side. Lapel, sleeve, then I turn across, okay? With whatever you want, as long as it's a turning technique. Good, William. That's it, Mohammed. That's all right, Joseph. That's all right. Good. Now, Joseph, when you turn, don't focus on swinging your left leg round. Focus on bringing your right leg across, okay? And that's a key difference because otherwise they'll be miles away from you when you go to throw them, okay? And that's the same for all of you. Focus on your throwing leg moving across rather than your back leg coming behind. That's it. Your throwing leg goes across more than your support leg going behind you. Uh-oh. That's it, guys. Now remember, I can't help the guys without their screens on, so I can't see behind them. I'm just assuming you're doing a good job and not eating popcorn. That's it. They're moving around, you're coming through, coming around with them. And as a visual guide, it might be easier just for you to have your sleeve hand out. Imagine you've got your watch, so when you back them up, just allow that watch hand to come out and across. Yeah, use that as a guide, that sleeve hand, to help you. You right, James Stevens? Do you have a question, bud? Oh, you disappeared on me.
If they're sidestepping, if you were to like pull their weight on the foot they're leading with towards you, and then sweep that leg, would that work? Like as they come onto you.
So hang on. So they're moving away. So they're moving this way, yeah.
Yeah.
As they are, you pull.
Yeah.
And it's this lead leg as they're coming. So for me, it'd be their right leg coming round.
Yeah.
So as you do, you might be able to do like a kouchi on that leg. Okay, so if they're advancing round, you could catch a kouchi. Yeah. It would be very unlikely you'd catch that back leg because of the movement they're going in. But some sort of kouchi or sasai.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah.
Yeah, some sort of kouchi sasai, and it all depends on how they're moving. That's the horrible thing about this, is the reactions make a big difference in the techniques we actually pick. Yeah?
Because if all of their weight was on their front leg, you could sasai.
Yeah, nice pull out. So I'm backing up, they're moving around, boom. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So just mate a sec, guys, just something that James was talking about then, is he was saying, if they're leading across with their front leg, so imagine I'm the person being backed up here and I'm trying to move round, what he's saying is if there's a big pull on this sleeve and the weight's coming on this leg, can you attack it with some sort of ashiwaza? Okay? And my thought was, well, if they're stepping like this, you can attack with like a kouchi as they're doing it, but if their foot's planted, something like a sasai. Okay, so you imagine if you're here, you're putting that pressure, and then moving around this way, some sort of sasai on that near leg might work as well. So if you wanted to have a little practice on that before we go in the other direction, you can, okay? But yeah, good thinking there, James. Well done. You get out the Newlands? Yeah? Good.
Vince,
Yes, mate.
would this work if you do the whole sequence and then you go for like a taitoshi or something, but then they like brace? Could you like go like that?
For like an Oso or something, whether they jigger tie and... Yeah. Good thinking there, Lucas. Yeah, so if you turned and then they killed the movement and stopped, yeah, you might be able to come round and back, yeah. You would obviously be vulnerable with some sort of takeback, so you would need to unravel yourself. But yeah, that's good thinking. Yeah?
Okay.
Good, mate, guys, well done. So we're going to look at the other one. Before we do, just following on from what Lucas is saying, he's saying basically if they're moving that way and you go to attack and they jigger tie and they stop you, can you then go the other way? Yeah, as long as they're not trying to take you backwards. If they're jigger tying, you might be able to come round for like a Soto Makakomi or something. There will always be options, and that's really good. James and Lucas having to think about the process. It means you're able to visualize it in a real scenario, and that's really good because that's really difficult. It's so hard without our partners to really think about it, but if you're able to do that, it shows that you're really starting to understand the principles. And actually, I'm adding, each week I'm adding lots of different scenarios, but I'm hoping that you'll see principles. Most of them sort of tie in all the time, okay? So this time, we're backing up, we're pushing, they're not moving sleeve side, they're moving lapel side, okay? And this is most probably their safest route. Why do you think this is most probably their safest route?
Because you're on your weak, because it puts you weak at your weakest point.
Yeah. So it's really difficult for me to just turn if they're moving that way. It's not impossible. And there are a couple of techniques you might be able to do, which we'll talk about, okay? But when they're moving this way, it really limits your techniques, okay? Because if you've got a traditional grip and they move this way, it's really tricky. So it pretty much leaves you with ouchigari, okay? And ouchigari is so important as a technique. If they're going this way here, boom, I'm looking at ouchigari from that situation, okay? Sasai possible, but you'd have to do so much movement to try and catch them up and move. How do you think, though, you might be able to turn this way? What might you be able to do to turn in that direction? What might be slightly different? And you will know this. Tone?
Put the brakes on like we did when we were going side to side in the wrong direction.
Yeah, so you can definitely do that step, possible. I think it's more something simpler than that. Something really simple. Camille. Sorry, mate?
Pull the sleeve.
Pull the sleeve, possible.
Pull the lapel. Encourage him that way to get the reaction back the other way.
Possible. So if you think about any technique like ippon seoinage or a cross grip, you can rotate so much easier. But remember, if they're moving this way and you've got the lapel, it leaves your shoulder behind. But we've talked about it before. If you've got some sort of cross grip or ippon seoinage and they're moving this way, it allows you to rotate your shoulders much easier. Okay? So something like that would be possible with a turning technique. Or if we go back to the one-handed taitoshis that we've done. So if they're moving this way, and you let go to go into the crook of their elbow, that would work. But it's just about this shoulder rotation, you trying to turn and then capturing that shoulder rotation. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. Sorry, Tony.
Hand onto the lapel, take the cross grip.
Sorry, Tony? What'd you say?
So they're going towards your lapel side. You take your sleeve hand and put it on the lapel as well.
No, the other side. You need to go, because if you go this side, you're then off balance with your shoulders. So if you go there, you would have to move all the way around to then spin this way. What I'm saying is from here is you attack this side of the body, so the sleeve side. So you either go cross grip lapel or into the elbow.
Right, okay.
Does that make sense, guys? Thumbs up if it makes sense to everybody else. Cool, right. So we're going to pressure, We know they're going that way. I want you to do ouchi, okay? But also you can I want to see you let go, and then you can turn with like one-handed taio, sioi, something like that, okay? But do not turn from a traditional grip because you will get countered. Yeah? Let's have a go.
Vince, I've got to go for my meeting now.
See you, mate.
Thank you.
Right, come on, let's go. Last 5 minutes. Let's go. That's it. So remember, they're trying to move lapel side now. That's it. They're moving lapel side. You go ouchi, easiest and effective, low risk. There's so many good things about ouchi. It works lots of different sides, different directions, low risk, really underrated. On. And then cross grips for turns, or in the elbow like we did with the one-handed taios. That's it. Still in your head, force the area. Think about where the area is. Have a mark on your floor where you think that area is. They don't want to go past that. They're going to try and move. Visualize it. It will help. Mikhail, stop messing around. Not you, Mikhail. You're not messing around. I'm going to have to call Mikhail M&M or something, aren't I? Mikhail Moadine, M&M. That way it doesn't get confused. Yeah, you alright with that? No? Come on, Joseph, stop threatening your brother. That's it. Rotate with that ouchi. Yeah, really need to change your grip on that to go across. Good effort, go on. Okay, good work, Mate. Well done, guys. So that's a basic scenario, putting a bit of pressure on, but all of the techniques and the movement patterns, they're all that we go over. Okay, so it's just giving a bit of context to when we would use it. Next Monday, we'll look at being the other person, the person who is backed up. What are your options if you are back against the mat? Because it seems like there aren't any options, but of course there are. Okay, so we're going to look at being the other person next Monday.